Hey, what's up, everybody? So this is a overview of advanced turning. So our main turning program really resets the yaw every single time. So we either turn like a positive 90 or a negative 90 or whatever we do, right? This program does not reset your yaw. So when a robot is driving forward, basically its original trajectory, that's 0 degrees. When it turns right from its original trajectory, that's 90 degrees. When it turns left from its original trajectory, that's negative 90 degrees. And when it turns around, that's like somewhere about like 180 degrees or negative 180 degrees, stuff like that. So for this project that we're working on now, where we have to go through and like make 90-degree turns, more or less, this is a pretty good option for us because it's really just like, if you think about the 0-degree direction almost as like north, 90 degrees is almost east, and then 180 is south, and then negative 90 is west. You basically have this map that we can keep like going towards. So when we look at the top here, basically create a name, rotate with constant yaw. We're not going to update the yaw, and then we're going to do degrees, right? So this is just like, again, rotate. So basically there's really only 4 options for this turn that I've got set up right now. You could set up more, but we can go 90 degrees, 0 degrees, negative 90 degrees, 180 degrees, okay? So like over here, where is it? Rotate with constant yaw. So when we take a look at this here, right? Negative 90 is my answer. So that's going to jump down to where? Well, I guess no. Oh, passing right over it. Negative 90 right there. Okay. If I put this number at 90, then it's going to do that as well, right? So let's take a look at the code and go through it really quick. So if my degree is 90 degrees, I'm going to repeat until my yaw angle is equal to 90 or greater than 90, right? So that's going to allow us to stop either at 90 degrees or maybe like 91, 92 degrees. It's going to be like close enough. So in that case, I need to turn to the right. So my left wheel is going forward, my right wheel is going backwards. Once we are either at 90 or a little bit greater than 90, we're going to get out of the repeat and we're going to stop moving. If we input the fact that we want a negative 90, now we need to turn to the left or towards west, basically, right? So here we say yaw angle is equal to 90 or negative 90 is greater than yaw angle, or really I could say like yaw angle is less than negative 90. So again, this is like negative 90, negative 91, 92, something like that. So here we turn to the left, so our right wheel goes forward, our left wheel goes backwards, and once we are greater than or less than or equal to negative 90, we stop moving. For our zeros and our 180s, things get like a little bit more complicated, especially if you want to make your program like look good. For 0 and 180, we really need to know like what direction we are currently facing. So that we can determine whether we need to turn left or right. So if degrees is equal to 0, right? Again, we're asking to go to 0 degrees. Then we have an if-else statement, okay? If our yaw angle is less than 0, meaning that we are already facing basically to the left, and now we're trying to turn to the right, we'll repeat until yaw angle is 0 or until yaw angle is greater than 0. And we're going to turn to the right by making our left wheel go forward and our right wheel go backwards, and then we're going to stop moving. The else of this is that the yaw angle is greater than 0, meaning that we need to turn to the left to reach 0 degrees. In that case, we're going to repeat until we're at 0 or until we are less than 0 or 0 is greater than yaw angle. We're going to turn to the left. Right wheel goes fast, forward, left wheel goes backwards. That turns us to the left. And then once we're there, we stop moving. Degree 180 is the same idea, except, basically backwards. We're going to say if the yaw angle is less than 0, so again, negative degrees, and we want to go to 180. One thing that does change is instead of saying that it's like equal to 0 or like greater than 0 or less than 0 or whatever else, we basically need to create like a little bit of a pocket that's an acceptable negative 180 degrees, right? Because again, it's going to flop between 180 and negative 180. So I'm basically giving everything a 4-degree window, okay? If our yaw angle is greater than 178, so like 179 and 180, or our yaw angle is less than negative 178, like negative 179, negative 180, right? So we've got this like small pocket of like acceptableness, but it's also going to like make sure that we stop. In this case, we rotate to the left and then stop moving. The else, of course, is when our yaw angle is greater than 0. We need to turn the other direction. Again, our repeat until is still the exact same thing because we're still trying to get to that same pocket. But of course, we're turning the opposite direction, and then we stop moving again. So the advantage to this is the other turning method, we have accumulated error. Like every time we reset our yaw, we go back again, and things start to get like a little wonky as you go. Your turns like get off. That's what I mean by wonky. With this, I guess a downside to this is you really got to start with your robot facing the right direction. Like you really want to point your robot in the direction that you want it to head. And once you have it pointing in the direction that you want it to head, then really it's going to do like a really good job of going north, south, east, and west. The other program is still better at like going like 45 degrees or negative 45 degrees. Like it can fit those in. And I'm sure that there's ways that we could change it here to make that happen also. But that just seems too advanced, at least for this activity here. Again, I would then grab my like rotate with constant yaw. I could plug this into like when my program starts, and I could say like, okay, line follow black line until red, which I think red is 9. And then I could say rotate with constant yaw. Red is going to be on the right, so I would say 90 degrees. And then I could like continue on from there. So why don't I connect up my robot and I'll show it to you real quick. All right, so if we take a look at the robot, let's let it run. Okay, so there it turned to like 90 degrees. If I tell it to turn to 180 degrees, now when we hit the red, it should spin around. Bingo. All right, so again, these are like some advantages to creating this. It will help things go along as you work through it. So again, take a look at that code. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't, you don't have to. Totally up to you. All right, hope that was helpful. Bye-bye.